if I may, just with the very basics with all three of you, about how this blast has affected the three of you respectively, as well as those around you. Because I think in a lot of these times, and we will of course talk about the politics, we tend to forget the human angle of all this. Just, if you can, just give us your reaction, your feelings about this blast and how it's affected you. I'll start with you, Adam.
Okay, so it was a very horrible incident that happened with us in Beirut, especially like the area near downtown. I was here in my house with my family. I was just seconds away from getting all the glass inside of my body, and my mother as well. It was a horrible incident. Everybody is still in shock. I am still in shock. NGOs and other international players are starting to work on the psychological effect that happened on the people who were not physically injured, or this happened to us in a very, very bad way, especially in times where all the hospitals are filled with COVID-19 patients, and the economic contraction, increasing poverty, and rising prices. It is a devastating incident, honestly.
Ayman, what about, how did this affect you and those around you?
I first would like to say that I am lucky to be safe, that everybody around me directly is safe. But seeing the images, knowing the names of many people who are not with us anymore, who had their properties, their houses, so damaged, completely destroyed. Looking at the numbers, nearly 300,000 people without any shelter now in Lebanon, in Beirut in particular. I cannot separate the political from the psychological. We are just sick and tired of being resilient, of having to deal with almost 2 decades of civil war, of another 2 decades of assassinations and bombings, and reaching this situation. The pain is equally coming from the blast itself and the consequences of the blast itself, but also from the pain that this political system has brought on each and every house in the country.
And Bachar, what about you? How has this event affected you?
Hello, Azar. For credibility reasons, and in order to also bring a different perspective to the experiences my other colleagues have been discussing, currently I'm in Istanbul. I'm not in Beirut. Okay. However, I've had to go through an extremely difficult process of understanding what was happening on the ground, of assessing the situation, of assessing the level of destruction, and of thinking of loved ones and friends as well as acquaintances, given that the area where the explosion took place, whether at the port of Beirut or the perimeter where the explosion actually left its destruction over the city, is a very vital area for many of Lebanon's youth. We tend to hang out there at its coffee shops. We tend to work from there, and most of our offices are actually, or used to be, located over there. So the first thing that came to mind was definitely calling a family. My house is 1.5 kilometers away from the port. My sister, thankfully, was in the parking underground, which saved her, which allowed her to escape from the massive destruction that took place in my parents' apartment. And then I moved on and tried to get in touch with friends, shop owners in the area of Mar Mikhael and Shemaize that I was seeing through the lenses of friends' phones and on social media, and I was seeing the level of destruction. What happened is not simply a mismanagement. What happened is a crime against humanity. It's a crime against the population and the citizens of Lebanon, conducted by its ruling elite.